in World War I and World War II. It tells us that New Zealand values national service, and the day is characterised by parades, dawn ceremonies, and commemoration ceremonies that you will be able to present to your class through a variety of mediums. Waitangi Day will be an interesting celebration to teach your class about because it holds similarities and differences between other nations' versions of Independence Day that the class can discuss. This day is characterised by the presenting of official awards and citizenship ceremonies. Indonesia is the most culturally diverse country that we will discuss in this unit, and it is arguably the most culturally diverse country in the world. For this reason, Indonesia poses a great opportunity to look into the different religious celebrations and commemorations. As you can see, Indonesia has a lot of public holidays to accommodate its multiculturalism and variety of religious celebrations. One such religious event is Nyepi Day, which is a Hindu celebration of the New Year. This will be an interesting learning opportunity for the class, as in their personal experience, they know New Year's Day to be filled with parties and loud celebration. In Indonesia, however, New Year's Day is marked with silence, with no lighting of fires, no working, entertainment, or travel for the majority of people, and for people of Hindu religion, no talking or eating, as the country reflects on the year that has passed. This will introduce the students to the notion of deep introspection as a deep community value, which is quite different to our own culture. With Indonesia, you can also introduce the concept of Labor Day as a commemoration of the achievements of the labor movement. This commemorative day will allow you to look into the history of a commemoration which is internationally celebrated, which was specified by the content descriptors. On Labor Day in Indonesia, great crowds of people marched to the presidential palace to showcase the community's appreciation for workers' rights and the journey that was taken in history towards the freedom that is enjoyed by workers today. So next is Fiji. Fiji is a majority Christian nation and celebrates Christian and Muslim public holidays. With Fiji, you can teach your class about celebrations being held through festivals. The Hibiscus Festival has been celebrated for around 50 years and goes for 9 days in the capital city of Suva. It is named the Hibiscus Festival because the blossoming of the hibiscus flower signifies the beginning of summer, which points to the nation's values. Your class will be able to watch videos of the festival, including carnival entertainment, float parades, and dance competitions. And Fiji Day is another form of Independence Day in which religious ceremonies and cultural performances take place. The students will also learn about some of the themes that have been chosen for Fiji Day over the years. Next is Timor-Leste. Like Indonesia, Timor-Leste celebrates many more public holidays than the other countries in this unit. Timor-Leste is a 90% Catholic country, so you will recognize that many of these public holidays have a Catholic theme. One of the more unique holidays of Timor-Leste is National Heroes Day. This day will provide your class with the only opportunity to learn about a national commemoration of an individual person. The day honours the nation's hero, Nicolau Lobato, who was the first Prime Minister of the nation and led his people to independence before being captured and killed by an invading enemy. National Heroes Day shows that the people of Timor-Leste hold great respect for this leader, and cultural competitions mark the week before this commemorative day, where the winners of the competitions are awarded trophies next to the statue of him. Learning about Timor-Leste is also a great opportunity for your class to see the way Easter is celebrated differently in different countries. Celebrated through Catholic traditions, the people of Timor-Leste will go on various pilgrimages at Easter time to local important religious sites. This is a great opportunity for the students to learn that some celebrations are marked by a pilgrimage, which holds symbolic value. And next we have Papua New Guinea. As you can see, Papua New Guinea celebrates similar holidays to Australia. Papua New Guinea's Remembrance Day is held in a similarly commemorative way to the other nations we've looked at, but Papua New Guinea was impacted in a particular way during World War I and II due to the challenging terrain of the land, and the country pays respects accordingly. A tradition that is unique to Papua New Guinea is the practice of sing-sing ceremonies. I thought that it would be important to implement at least one type of celebration that is not nationwide, but operates on a smaller, more local basis. The traditions of these ceremonies is that cultures, music, and dances are shared to celebrate the heritage of Papua New Guinean culture. The ceremonies also keep a local belief in natural spirits alive, and symbolic clothing is worn to represent different creatures in nature. So, if we look at all of the national holidays of all 6 of these countries, we can see that there is quite a lot of overlap of themes that you can work with, and also a lot of celebrations and commemorations that are unique to these different countries. There is a wealth of secondary source material for your class to conduct inquiries into these different celebrations and commemorations. In order to turn this background knowledge into practical lesson activities, there are many teaching resources you can utilize across a variety of teacher resource platforms. There are many resources about celebrations and many resources about Australia's neighbours, but limited resources to accommodate an overlap of these two ideas, so you will need to alter the available resources to suit this topic. Next, we will go through one of the interactive learning activities that you will be able to use with your Year 3 class. This activity is suitable for the last 2 lessons of the unit and must be completed under 3 principles. Firstly, all learning activities should focus on using information processing skills. Secondly, inquiry learning puts the learner at the center of an active learning process, and the teacher must support the learner. And thirdly, the role of the teacher is to facilitate the learning process. To be able to complete this activity, you should spend the first half of your second last lesson finalizing all of the class's previous work for this unit, finishing off anything that was not completed in previous lessons. The second half of this lesson will be required for planning the final lesson of the unit. So halfway through this lesson, you will explain to the class that in the next lesson, you will have your own celebration day, where each table group will present their findings to the rest of the class, and you will share in celebratory food and activities. This learning activity brings the theoretical aspects of the students' learning into a practical, engaging experience. So you will explain to the class that they will spend the rest of the lesson in their groups in the second last lesson, looking back over their work from the unit and coming up with ideas for what they can bring to the celebration day. This might include a song, a national food, and a game or craft for the class to try. To do this, the class will be completing this worksheet. The students should be able to find the answers to each of these questions in their portfolio of work completed during the unit. After planning what to bring and do in the next lesson, they will spend the remainder of the lesson collaborating with their group members to write a short summary of their discoveries about one celebration from their key country to present to the class during the next lesson, with one sentence to be read aloud by each student in the group. This summary should include the descriptors supplied by the tick box that we discussed earlier. For example, if the Fiji table group chooses to present about Fiji Independence Day, they would tell the class that this celebration is a commemoration, a national holiday, a celebration of independence, a celebration of culture, and a celebration of history. The students will all then hand in their worksheet to you at the end of the second last lesson with all of their ideas for what their group will present in the next task lesson. Using these worksheets, you will make a plan for the celebration lesson, including food that will need to be brought to represent each country, the way you can facilitate each game or craft, and organizing a song to play in the background of each group's presentation. You will also need to research the games and craft activities that the students recommended and ensure that they are all short enough to fit within the one lesson. You can also prepare decorations for the classroom to make the next lesson more engaging, including flags of your key countries. Then during the next task lesson, the groups will present to the class and share their summary presentation, their food, music, and game or craft. There is a wealth of resources on online teacher resource forums that you can use for this activity. It would be effective to spread these resources out throughout the unit so that in the second last lesson, when your class is preparing for the celebration, they will already have answers that they can refer back to from their previous inquiries into a culture's food, music, and activities. An example of one of these resources is this content pack on Twinkle about celebrating Indonesian Independence Day in the classroom. This pack is ideal for working up to your final activity, as it contains craft activities, PowerPoints, games, songs, and other culturally immersive activities. There are resources such as this one available for each of the countries we have discussed today, which you can compile, adapt, and use for your class's inquiries. That brings us to the end of this presentation. I hope you've all learned a lot and feel prepared to bring this lesson unit into your own Year 3 classrooms. Thank you.